This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hi, welcome to Review Corner, and we're going to be looking at another one of the monsters from the Runewars. Next, we've got the heroes, and then we're pretty much done with this series. The real cool thing about this is this is really easy. It looks like it's pretty complicated, but it really isn't. You just stick with me, keep it very simple, and you'll see this will come out really nice, and everything will work out perfectly. You can trust me on that. Like I said, this is for beginners. There's a lot of people that have advanced techniques. We're going to leave those out. We're going to try to ease those people that have never picked up a brush to pick it up and have some fun. So, without further ado, let's go down to the table and see how you do the Carrion worm with the skeleton rider. So, as you see here, we have a demonite hide that we're going to cover his entire body with. Now, if you notice up there, if you watched some of my prior work, I've showed you how to do the skeletons. Piece of cake. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip over that because you already know how to do the skeleton. So I did the skeleton ahead of time, and now we're just going to concentrate on that big worm. And as you can see, all I'm doing is just getting this all over the place. I'm not worried about anything else than getting that onto our boy there. And we're just working it with our brush. We're just taking and pushing it around and making everything work and look real cool. And that's all that really matters at this moment. We're just getting in all those grooves. We want to make sure that we get all the areas so this really is saturated in this particular color. This demonite hide is normally for gene stealers, but I find it's going to work really well with what we're going to do. Now, as you can see, I skipped ahead and I colored it all, and you see how nice, and he's got that purplish hue, but we're not going to leave him that way. Trust me on that. You're going to see how this all kind of comes together. Now, as you can see, the skeletons already got his base coats on, and that's exactly what we want. Now we're going to take a screamer skull, and we're going to paint those manacles in the front there. And we're just going to take it, and we're just going to get it right on there. See how nice that goes on there? Now all of a sudden, you see where we're starting to come up with the idea for this guy. We want him to be kind of hideous and have that bone thing that you'd be afraid of because it just squash you, if that makes any sense at all. So we're working that in there real good, and we're just taking our time, and everything is just coming together there as perfect as can be. And that's all we can ever ask, is to get that to come right in there. And as you can see, I get a little close there, but if you make a mistake, don't worry about it. Just take the demon hide and fix your mistakes. That's the beauty of it. You can fix any mistake you make, and that's what makes this so much fun to do. Now we're going to take some Agrath Earthshade, and we're going to, as you can see, I went over those bone areas, and then I went over the skeleton himself. I went and I put that all over him, and you can see where we got now that kind of feel that it looks like bone. We highlighted it nicely. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to take some Screamer Pink. Now, if you look, he's got that soft area in the mouth. So what we want to do here is just paint inside there, and he's got a little drip there, so we're going to make it all that one color. And we're going to paint that up. As you can see, we stayed within the lines there, and that's perfect. You see how now all of a sudden we have different colors coming together, and it's starting to create something here. We're starting to create the base of what our worm is. And that's exactly where we want to be right now. It doesn't look like much, but it'll come together. Now I took a Jokera orange, okay? Now that going over the purple is going to give us a certain type of a color. So let's take a look as we put this on there. And this is another base color. As you can see, what you want to do is he has scales on him. And all we want to do, if we can move my big fat hand, right, is paint over those scales. Now look what I'm doing here. I've got good control, even though my right hand's in the way, and I'll move it around so you guys see it in a minute, I'm pretty sure. But you can see I'm just kind of going to a certain point of that scale. I'm not worried about going too far down because I just make sure that I take my brush and I make that move. And I'm painting more from the middle down, so I have good control of my brush and make sure that I'm controlling the paint. Don't let the paint control you. And that's the most important thing that you can do in this, is you control the paint. You take the time and you move it around. Now as you can see, I'm moving it around, and I'll move my big fat hand, and you can see there how the scales work together. See, it looks better with my hand out of the way. Now I finally finished that, and I went all the way around, and look. Now it doesn't look like much right now. Bear with me. We'll get there. Now that orange on top of the purple, and you're probably going, well, that kind of looks okay, but it kind of looks at best. Well, not so fast, my friend. We're going to take some Carrion Crimson, and we are going to cover that entire model with the red wash. Now watch what the effect of this wash does, because this is where it kind of starts bringing things together. Now as you can see here, we're going to work that wash right in there. We're not being shy. We're trying not to get any on the mouth or anything like that. And what did I do? I got it on right onto the bone there. But that's okay. You can fix mistakes. Even I make mistakes, and I leave those mistakes in there so you can see that everybody's going to make a mistake. But all I did was add a little water, and look how quickly that comes off with that brush. See? Just taking and dipping it in a little water and washing over it, and it came off. We can fix mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes, but you got to be brave enough to attack the model as it is, and not be afraid or think that whatever you do is going to come out horribly. You can fix anything that you do. Now we're really working this in there, but look what it's doing to the orange. It's giving that orange a different type of hue, and it's going in between those, and now all of a sudden they're starting to feel like scales on him. You know, different colors, like a carapace on him. Now you see the difference. Now look how the purple now, that demon hide, now all of a sudden is starting to come alive with a nice wash underneath. Everything's getting into the recesses. We have this orange tinge to him, and I mean a red tinge to him, and that's kind of working. It's working for what we want to do, especially with the orange. With that deep red going over the orange and beating up the way it is, it's really bringing out what we're trying to achieve, and that's that shell feel, and he's kind of wormy. I guess that's the best way you could put it, right? Now, as you can see, there we go. Now you see how that's all in there, and when that dries, that's going to look nice. It's going to work perfectly for what we want to do, because we want that shell not to be consistently one color. We want the colors to kind of break up, because it's some kind of worm thing and it's disgusting. So we want it to look a little disgusting. Now we're going to take some Dawnstone. Okay? What we're going to do with this is we're going to dry brush, and we're going to dry brush over that area there. And you see how those claw things and the color. What we want to do is we want to work that, and we want to make sure that the brush is good and dry and not a lot on there. See how light I'm touching that? Very lightly. Well, it wasn't that light if I moved it, right? But we're going to move it just so easily over the model. Now I've got to hold it down a bit, but we're going to, all the areas that are purple, we're going to take this light gray and really work this in there. Okay? And I'm going to show you what it's going to do. See how by just taking that and moving that brush around, all of a sudden it's giving another form of detail. It's everything that's raised up, we're going over. Now you see what we're getting there? See how that goes over, and now he's not a purple. He's a reddish, kind of grayish, he's pretty disgusting, to be honest with you. And that's exactly what we're looking for, and that's what we wanted to do. Just something real simple. We took a little skull white and got some of the teeth inside the mouth. And as you can see, that's exactly all we wanted to do. We have that gray in there, the blend, and it looks pretty good. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. This is just a simple version of doing this, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let's send it on top and get on out of here. What do you think of that? I think we did an alright job, and you can. Well, there you have it. Just a very simple way to do that worm. Something that anybody can do. It's very simple, nothing difficult about it. As you can see, we just kind of blended all those colors together to just kind of make a very simple worm and make it so we can get it down to the table. And anybody can do that type of worm. And I think, you know, once you try it and give it a shot, you'll find that you'll really enjoy what you're doing here. So that's it for this week's review corner and paint tutorial on how to do that Carrion worm. I hope you enjoyed this. And as always, thanks to our wonderful sponsor at Miniature Market. Why don't they take us out of here with the end credits. Until next time, I'm Rob Warren. We'll see you soon. Sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, videos, and written reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, online gaming superstore, thousands of games and minis, discount prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com.